Demonis Sabonis is now out with a grade 1 hamstring. So, what does this mean for the Sacramento Kings? We just talked about the Kings recently on a live stream, and I was talking about how, um, Keegan Murray is going to be out for a month with the torn ligament. And I was saying that, I don't necessarily have the Kings making the playoffs. No offense to Kings fans, Um, they have talent on their roster. You have DeRozan, you have Zach LaVine, and in that video I said Sabonis. But, obviously now Sabonis is out. Now, it is a grade 1, I believe. And so that means that he is not going to miss, a ton of time because that is the least severe of the, um, grades of hamstring injuries. So it said that he's going to miss the season opener, um, but he might be, like if all goes as planned, he should be back relatively soon, So I don't think if you're a Kings fan, you should be too concerned, that he is out um, for a long period of time. But hamstring injuries are kind of tricky. You know, um, they can flare up, randomly for no reason. Not even no reason, but like they can flare up at any point, even though you feel good. So that's why they are a bit tricky. But he shouldn't be out too long. So that's good news for the Kings fans. But they are already missing Keegan Murray. And again, the West is just loaded. So, and I talked about this with the Lakers losing LeBron. And the problem with the Lakers losing LeBron is obviously a similar issue with the Kings. And that is, um, I said about the Lakers losing LeBron. Even if the Lakers went 8-8 in those games, without LeBron, like a 500 record is not bad. But in the West, you need every single game that you can get, right? And so for the Kings, it's kind of like a similar dilemma, I guess, where like, yeah, Sabonis may not miss, 25 games. Like LeBron is going to be out till, potentially mid-November. Um, and Sabonis, the season starts on October 22nd, so Sabonis might actually be out. I mean, depending on how fast the grade 1 hamstring, heals up, maybe till the beginning of November. Um, it just depends. But my point is, yeah, he's not out long term, but you cannot get behind in the West. You need every single game. You need to, maximize, especially at the beginning of the season when teams are still figuring, their uh their styles out, getting to know each other, new roster. Um, so he, or rather the Kings, even if, again, they go 500 in the games without Sabonis, that's not a bad record, but, you know, if Sabonis was there and they win 70% of the games rather, that gives them a much better chance because every game in the West counts, you know, every single game. I talk about it all the time. Somebody said, what about the Rockets? The Rockets, any chance? Any chance for what? To make the playoffs? I absolutely think they're going to make the playoffs, yes. I have them actually If you watched my standings predictions, I said I think the Rockets will end up being the number 1 seed in the West. So yes. Um, the South is loaded. Spurs, OKC, Mavs, and Houston in the same division. Yep. That is true. That is true. Yeah. The Texas teams are doing good right now. Spurs, Mavs, Houston. So that is definitely true. Um, so again, I don't think if you're a Kings fan, you should be, freaked out about the Sabonis injury itself. But again, this is only going to hurt their chances more, to have a shot to make the playoffs. And again, I, like talent, they have talent. I know. So it's like, it's hard to be like, oh, a team that has, DeRozan, Levine, Keegan Murray, should be back at some point. Um, Sabonis, and then you also have, I was about to say De'Aaron Fox, no longer. But they just signed Russell Westbrook, by the way. They literally just signed Russ. So that is exciting for them. But then you also have Malik Monk, like there's talent on that roster. But I just think the West is just too loaded. Unfortunately for the Kings, they waited so long to make the playoffs, and then they made the playoffs, and then I feel like they might be back in a sort of drought again. Not even a drought necessarily, but like, not making consecutive playoff runs, which is unfortunate, but hey, they could prove me wrong. So let's see what the Kings end up doing. I'm curious to see. Oh, and they got Dennis Schroeder too. I'm curious to see how they're going to manage Malik Monk and Russ and Schroeder's minutes. Because I feel like they can't all play together at the same time. Like, I feel like they don't, all three of them, well, obviously they're not going to play all three of them at the same time, but like, I don't know. It's a bit of a tricky fit, I feel like, there. I feel like Malik Monk could, interchange with them a little bit better because Malik Monk is more of a shooter, right? So Malik Monk, I feel like, could, fit alongside a Dennis Schroeder or a Russell Westbrook easier than Schroeder and Russ together, right? Because I feel like you got to have the ball in Schroeder's hands and you got to have the ball in Russ's hands, right? So that'll be tricky for them to figure out. So thank you guys so much for watching this